Well, hey, welcome back. It's a big day. We're already starting on our actual project. So hopefully you're ready for this. Let's make sure we've got all of our supplies. You are going to need your Bristol paper. So this is going to be a little bit thicker paper than our drawing paper. You can probably hear it when you go like this and kind of feel that it's a little bit more dense and thick. So this is the paper we're going to want for this project. We also need to get our carbon paper. That's this one. So it's going to be kind of like a, oopsies, darker black on one side, and then this side is going to be almost whitewashed over the top of it. Okay, so that is our carbon paper. We're going to need the picture. Remember, we want your picture to be filling the frame like that. We don't want something like teeny tiny like this. Okay, fill the frame. And once again, just like you can see here for my picture, I'm not looking at the camera like this. That would have been really nice though. I'm looking kind of down off to the side. That's totally okay. In fact, let's just take a quick peek here at this next page. How we put the picture in the frame, how we compose it, is going to kind of tell a different story. Right, like if we have just so here's our original photograph. If we use the whole picture like you're seeing over on the right hand side here, you can kind of see that like thing going, hers going the other way. I can't really put my lips to that side, but anyway, it's going to do that kind of like thing, right? Whereas, let me hide myself here. If you just see the eyes, it kind of tells a little bit different story. Like if you had never seen the full face, the eyes almost look maybe more worried. It's a little different than this, where it's kind of like questioning something. So anyway, think about how you want to compose it, but you'll see the basic idea of what we're going to be doing here today. We're going to be going from this photograph that you're seeing on the upper left hand, where it's the actual photograph of this girl. And by the end of the day, it's going to end up looking something like what we see in the middle, where it's sort of like this line drawing, but not your average line drawing, maybe, where it's kind of got, the outlines, of course, like natural, but then we're seeing sort of those highlights and lowlights outlined as well. This is giving us that neurographic kind of look to it. So, by the end of the day, or before the next class anyway, we're going to have something that looks kind of like what we're seeing here. Only it's going to be the picture that you've chosen. Yay! Okay, let's go back a slide, shall we? Yeah, we shall. Okay, so did we cover everything? So we have the Bristol paper, your photo, carbon paper, pencil. We're going to need a pencil today. And finally, tape. I have really cool tape. Once again, before we do anything else, I just want to make sure we all remember the rule. We are not going to grab a photo from on the wall that's like in a frame behind glass and just start using that. That's how we get in trouble, because we will destroy this. This is not going to look good when we're done with it. So you want to make sure you're doing a photocopy of it. What I actually ended up doing, because I didn't have like the right size photo of this, so I took my photo, I put the whole photo, this is actually me and my whole family, I mean not what you're seeing here, but the actual photo is me and my whole family. I put the photo into a Google slide, I cropped it down to what I wanted to see, and then I expanded it so that it would fit the full slide, and of course then when I printed it, it made the full size of the piece of paper. So do not use an actual photograph that's like, part of your home decor. That's not going to go over very well. We don't want that. Okay, so what we're going to do, I'm going to switch my view over here so you guys can see. Let's see if we turn this light on, if it makes it a little brighter. I'm going to tape this so that the kind of grayish side is going to get taped down to the back of this. And it may not fit perfectly. That's okay. Like, as long as we're getting the center of it, like the main part, we're going to be plenty fine. So we just want to tape this so that it doesn't move on us. We don't want it wiggling around. So let's see. I'm just going to give it a little tape, little tapey tape right there. Put that around. Remember, this is getting destroyed anyway. We're not like worried about like getting tape on the photo. That is going to be the least of our concerns in a minute here. Okay, so that should hold it on. It's not going to wiggle around on me. Next, I want to tape this down to my Bristol board. I'm just going to position it however looks good. It may not entirely fill up your Bristol board. In fact, you can see mine doesn't, right? It's not completely filling it, but it's close, and it's okay because that's just going to give us a little bit of room if we, you know, we're going to be adding that background in later. So I'm going to tape this down. I'm going to do a little nicer job of taping this because I don't want to ruin my Bristol board. So I'm going to try not to get too much on the front. I'm going to put it on, oops, you can't see that. So I taped it here so it goes to the back, and I didn't actually get it on the Bristol board itself. Okay, so again, taping it here. I just want to make sure that this isn't sliding around on me as we go. Okay, and I'm going to do, I think, one big piece on the top middle. You don't want to over tape it because, you know, although we don't want it to slide, we also want to be able to remove the tape easily enough, especially when it comes to our last couple of steps where we need to check it. Okay? So now what we're going to do from here is we are going to be outlining everything. Everything's getting outlined. So you can kind of pick a spot and start with that and try to make sure you really get all of it. Don't hop around too much. That's how we start missing out on pieces, and that's not good. Okay, so I'm going to start with my face. So I'm going to kind of start with that hairline here. And I'm not going to show you, you know, the whole entire thing because if I do, actually the hairline kind of goes more like that. That's going to be a shadow. I'm not too worried about that there because, once again, I'm going to be bringing in the shadows in a bit anyway. So kind of outline whatever you're seeing. Okay, here's my nose. Bringing that around here. And I just want to kind of show you what that looks like. So you can see, like, this is why we want to make sure we're not, like, taping it down, like, so it's never going to come off. Because you do want to be able to check it a little bit. Okay? So basically what's happening is as I'm pushing it here, it's going to, that carbon paper is going to push the carbon onto your Bristol board. And basically you're drawing yourself or whomever, whatever humanoid you have on this. So as I'm drawing this, I am making sure that I'm not only getting the outlines of everything. Like, yes, we definitely want the outlines, but we also want to make sure we're seeing and kind of outlining the shadows and the highlights too. So for example, let's see, where would be, oh, my hair. We've got these lovely gray streaks coming through here, right? You can see those, and you can see them in the picture too. So, you know, my hair, I wouldn't just have it be the outline of my hair and that's it. So I wouldn't just go do a quick run through here of the hair. And it's kind of hard to see, like some of this, like my hair kind of turns into shadows and whatnot too. But I wouldn't want my hair to just look like that. That's pretty boring. We're going to want to bring in all of those details. So that's where it's kind of lighter. Here's another light streak going in. And it kind of bounces down and around. Here's another streak that kind of comes through and around and down. And another one here. Oh my goodness, and this is where the wind was whipping and my hair is just going in like all these different crazy directions at this point. So I'm adding all of that in here too. And it's not just your hair that we're going to be doing this. It's really like anywhere you see a shadow or a highlight on your face, you really want to kind of over exaggerate all of that. You can see how already that's looking a lot cooler, right? That's adding a lot more detail in. And even here too, once again, you can see this is where it's going to be kind of like that shadow, that cheekbone area. You can see that kind of right here. For my smile too, I would kind of go in and I would show that there. Okay, so don't be afraid. I know it's going to look kind of crazy. It's going to look a little weird. But in the long run, it's going to look really cool. You really want to get all of those details in, which is why we have an entire class period, an entire day, simply to do this. We're just taking this time to trace and to outline every little detail. So once again, don't forget when you're doing all those details, you know, make sure you're getting the neck, the face, the hair. Don't forget to add in highlights and shadows, and you know, anywhere you see some kind of a change, whether it be in lighting or you know what it actually is, like hair versus skin and all that stuff, make sure you're tracing those lines on here. You know, my neck, I would go in and I would, here's that darker shadow, here's kind of the lighter part of the shadow, here's some more shadow coming down here, here's my neck itself. And I know that's hard to see the pencil on there, but if I pull it up, you can see it in there. So here's what it's looking like so far. We got lots to go. So take this time, go ahead and do that, and remember to kind of keep checking it too. I shouldn't say keep checking it. Check it when you think you're getting close to done. Notice how though I did not take off all my tape, check it, and go, oh, whoops, missed a spot, and try putting it back on there. I'm checking it by like lifting it like this. Then once I think that it's good, then I might remove like, you know, one piece of tape or something where I can look at it a little bit better, but it's still kind of taped on there in place. But that's only once I'm really, really sure. So, you know, don't move it, because once you take it off, it's going to be really hard to put it back down in the exact same spot. So be really confident in all your checking before we remove this from that backdrop. In fact, if you want to wait until our next class, it's not a bad idea. That way, if we have any questions before then, or you know, as we're completing this, we can get those questions answered. Better to get those questions answered and be confident when we remove it versus just removing it and realizing, whoopsies, I probably shouldn't have done that yet. Okay, for next class then, we are going to obviously need this that we have completed. And we're going to need both of our permanent markers, both that micron pen, that little tiny permanent marker, and the brush one as well. So have that ready to go, and I cannot wait to see how these turn out. It's going to be so cool. Okay, bye.